Okay, so the dimensions of the T-nut. I could think of, I don't know whether it's an M, I don't even know how they, I think they probably go by the thread size. This one's made for a 3/8 screw. Gibraltar, I think, makes that screw there. I did not tap it all of these all the way through, although I sometimes do. Okay, that, you see that's bottomed out there. Let's see where you're looking. No, get rid of that. Okay. You can see that's bottomed out. I won't go any further. And you don't want that to go through the bottom, because if it if it goes down through, sometimes what'll happen is your nut on the top, the threads will get messed up, and you'll think you're tightening the nut, and you're actually driving the thing, this screw down through, and it's enough force it'll break the way T-slot nuts on the machine. So you don't want that to go all the way through, but some of mine do. But we'll go into that in a little bit. I'm going to make some parts today to show you what I do in that case. Sometimes just from using them a lot, they wind up going all the way through. These aren't hardened. This was a piece of an old, or rather of the Phase 2 toolbox that you probably recognize it when I put it back together. Which one did I have? Now I got to make sure. I got them mixed up now. All right. Let me make sure I get the right one, because some of them are a little tight, but I don't want to give you the dimensions of the tight one. Okay. So let me make sure I keep that one separate. Okay. And here's the other one. Okay, this was the block that came with the, you can see it's got a hole in the center. That was actually was the T-nut, so I turned one large T-nut into 4 small T-nuts. This is the one that fits good, so let's get some dimensions down on that. I made a drawing here. Let's see if I can put it in the camera, and then you can decipher my arithmetic there. But I'll go over the dimensions, because I didn't make it exactly to those dimensions. I never do. I set out with a goal, but I don't always hit it. Okay. So the overall width, let's draw it out bigger so you can see it here. I'll write the dimensions down as I go. Put it where you can see it. Okay. Looks like you can see that right there. So let's put this brass plate on it there. Okay, so this dimension across, let's start out because the mics are already down. All right, the thickness over here is 290. 290 on that side. $295. Okay. So I'm going to say 300. Okay, at the top here, I have it at this being 0.326. Okay. But I'll change that. 300. See if you can see that. Okay. So we're 300 on these two ways here. The overall width 825. $8.25. The width in here is 510. I want to say 505. You could get away with that being on there. So I think that's probably all you need. 3/8 tap through the center. Yeah, just center that up. Okay, yeah, so that's all you should need for that. So those are the dimensions. Put it on there, and then you can pause it as you will. Okay, good. All right. So let me hang these back up so I don't lose them. Okay. Now this one here is another size. This one's made for the table. This is a SAE size. These are the 5/8 that you would use on a regular Bridgeport. And this one's for my drill press trim, my Craftsman drill press table. I guess I could go over it too real quick in case you need to make some for that. There, you can buy them. This is 5/8 for a 5/8 slot. The whole entire width might be over 1 inch. Okay, no, it's exactly 1 inch. So it's 1 inch, 1 inch across here, 5/8 across here, and the height of the flange is and the height of the flange is 5/16. Actually, I'm a little below 310. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is set the lathe up. This hole here, it's got 3/8 also. This hole here is tapped all the way through. Okay, so you can see as that comes through, that creates a lot of power, and that will break your machine T-nuts, T-slots. So what I do, because it's a lot easier than trying to guess and get, stop with your tap, or then usually you have to run a bottom tap and try to maintain a thread or two. What I like to do is make a stud like this, screw that in there. It's a little tight, but you can see the idea. There's a shoulder. Okay. Bring it around. Okay. There's a shoulder so that it can't protrude through. Once you take that all the way down, there we go. Okay. There's no way to already up in the machine. I'll cut half 20 threads on that. And as you all know, when you have a Craftsman machine, you have to play around a whole lot with the gears. So I'll get started on that right now off the camera. Probably clean up all this mess and get the gears set out that I need. Swap the gears over, and then we'll cut those 1/2 inch 20 threads. Now, there's one thing yet that I like to do. All right, take it in until it touches, roundabout. I like to have a stop when I do mine. Close enough. Okay. Test it a couple of times. Right at 40. Okay. Okay, let's see where we're at. All right, that's good enough for me. Nice and tight. Okay, now let's do the next one. The next one, I'm not going to be able to grip the same way. Okay, so this was on 40 when I finished up. So let's just try to see what happens. Well, I don't like it, but I'm going to go ahead and run it anyway. It ain't no good. Well, you might make to it something else. Okay, So this piece of material was a little bit oversized. I think it was about 510, about 10 thousandths over. So the run out really won't matter on it. Now let's put a bolt on it and see what happens. Okay, well this hole is a little off center, so I might not be able to use this on this one. Anyway, that's going to screw into there, and it's a little tight, which is okay. Okay, so I clean that up with a fly. Flat on the bottom. Okay, good. Alright, so that's good. That gives me a 1/2 inch 20. I like that better. Now I can use a 3/4 inch wrench. And the important thing is that it can't go down to where it'll rip the T-slot out of there. Okay, so today I made some T-nut studs. I just made a couple out of old stock that I had. This was actually undersized for the most part of it. Anyway, I got about 1 1/4 inches out of that one. There's 3/8 threads into the T-nut, but then the body is a 1/2 20. So I got 2 of those. And then while I was at it, I went ahead and threaded this piece of stainless with a 1/4 inch nut. This is going to replace this. This is on my old tractor. This is the cover for the air cleaner. And this went down through there. I'm going to try to put another filter in there. It had one of those sponge filters. But I got another one around here somewhere. It's a cartridge. I think it's out behind a little cartridge that I bought off Amazon. And it's a little taller. So I didn't want to cut this and extend it. So I just went ahead and threaded up a new one. This is 1/4 20. These are 1/2 20. That's funny because 1/4 20 is a coarse thread and 1/2 20 is a fine thread. But same thread. But when you have the gear type, old Atlas lathes with the gear type, you tend to put your jobs off until you're set up. Because rather set it up and tear it down, you do as much as you can while you got it set up. So I got those done. Now I just got to cut this to length and make maybe weld a T-nut on the top of there, a wing nut or something on the top of it. This one will be probably 1 inch longer. So it'll wind up getting cut there, and I'll still have some stock left. Okay, well, I thank you for watching.